hard at night. Do you have the nerve? That's not so hard, the youth replied, feeling that the youth's spiritual state was favorable. The wayfarer explained the ancients said that the relationship of the vital spirit to the physical body is as that of a sovereign to a country. If the spirit is restless within, the body deteriorates externally. So as a country falls into chaos below, the rulership above is benighted. So educated people know that the physical body depends on the spirit. Well, the spirit needs the body to remain present. Therefore, they cultivate the essential nature to preserve the spirit and to pacify the mind to keep the body intact. When the body and the spirit are intimate with each other, outside and inside are both taken care of. When the outside and the inside are intimate to each other, the body and the mind are both taken care of. Those who live well are clear and open and calm and serene, with minimal selfishness and few desires. They do not keep the burdens of external things on their minds, so their purity of spirit is outstanding. Open-minded and unruffled, peaceful and unworried, maintaining the state by unity, nurturing it with harmony. They take care of daily affairs reasonably, equanimously, attaining universal accord in an altruistic, graceful, natural way. Now you have already experienced the effects of collecting the mind and nurturing its essential nature, but you have not realized stabilization of the higher soul and strengthening of the earthly soul. That is why we are giving you another exercise to stabilize your spirit. Liping nodded, getting the general meaning of what the old master said, supposing that all he had to do was practice whatever the masters taught him. Later that night, when all was still, the graveyard was silent as death itself. There was no moonlight, and the dark clouds blacked out by the stars in the sky. There was no one in that desolate place but the three old wizards and their useful apprentice. I don't know if I said useful or youthful, but it says youthful, practicing inner exercises. Yes. Now the three elders had already picked their spots and sat down. The wayfarer of pure serenity told Wang Lepang to choose a place for himself and sit there. He was to sit for 4 hours, concluding that session at 1 o'clock in the morning. As Lepang sat down to concentrate, he thought to himself that this exercise wouldn't be hard, seeing as how his three teachers were right there. Little did he know that the three old wizards had already disappeared silently into the night. 2 had gone back to their abode, and 1 had stayed behind to watch over Leping from a distance. The one who remained to supervise was the wayfarer of pure serenity, who was a great and practical joker. After Leping had entered into stillness, the wayfarer began to produce all sorts of banshee cries and wolf howls to disturb the youth's exercise. I'll get him with this one. You know that one. The one who remained to supervise was making all these marvelous noises, but by now Leping had considerable accomplishment. However, and was completely unfazed by the blood-curdling, spine-chilling shrieks and howls. He heard, but he didn't really listen. Stolidly cultivating his inner work, at the end of the midnight hour, Leping concluded his exercise. When he opened his eyes and looked, he saw that 3 old masters were gone. Without another thought, he turned and set off on his way. He just kept on walking, but now the black shadow flitted from side to side. trying to leave him around in circles, stealing his nerves, circulating primal energy through his body. Wang Lepeng stretched his right hand out like a sword blade and thrust it with a tremendous shout directly into the black shadow. Ah! Suddenly, the black shadow disappeared. And Lepeng heard a laugh, crystal clear, right by his ear, distinguishing the voice of his mentor, the wayfarer of pure serenity. Lepeng hurriedly said, "You're still testing me." Then the mentor appeared, bragging a little about baffling the boy. "Gotcha that time." Then took him by the hand and led him back. "Come on." As it turned out, this exercise in the graveyard had numerous advantages. After practicing for a while, Lepeng felt yin and yang harmonize throughout his whole body, filled with pure energy. He also mastered the basis for the practice of stabilizing the spirit and guarding the house. Wang Lepeng learned that with courage, self-control, and calm assurance, it is possible to bring everything into silence, into absolute stillness. One is thoroughly solitary. Both body and spirit are there. The self is their master, and the self enters into stillness, silence, tranquility, and calm. Once the mind is spontaneously quiet, the spirit is untroubled. When the spirit is untroubled, it is forever clear.
Getting my food over my table.
And this calm, once the mind is quiet and the spirit is at peace, the only realization is emptiness. This emptiness is the way. This is also an individual universe, an individual realm of experience. After repeating these practices over and over again, Wang Lepeng developed further stability and self-possession. He went in and out of the graveyard like going in and out a door. The countless dead buried there didn't bother him a bit. Spirit and soul untroubled, he had reached considerable degree of attainment. The three old wizards formed a powerful team, and now devoting their total attention to the work of developing the next transmitter. The wayfarer of pure serenity was indeed very stern and harsh, but there was no question that he had a good heart. Now past 70 years of age, once again he was at his old work as a drill instructor. By day, he would search all over for the best places to have Wang Lepeng do his exercises, making special spots into instruments to help the training. By night, he would oversee and supervise Lepeng doing his exercises. Having instructed and guided the youth, he also egged him on and helped him out, devoting a truly extraordinary effort to developing the new transmitter of the Dragon Gate Taoism. He treated Lepeng as a son. Indeed, their relationship was even closer than that of a father and son. And how ordinary relationships between fathers and sons. Some people are loving and close. Some are loving but unable to provide guidance, leaving children to do it for themselves. There are those who provide everything, including guidance, but with questionable contents and methods. Although they have fine food and clothing, their hearts are not good. Cases of problematic behavior in children of good families are not rare. The work of education is important for the evolution of the human race. In going through the systematic course training, Wang Lepeng passed through one barrier after another. Adding studies of external exercise, he had by now cultivated a sound, solid foundation in both inner and outer exercise. From the point of view of the ordinary people, he was already extraordinary, but the old wizards knew that their youthful apprentice was, as yet, operating in the lower triple world, still quite far from the middle triple world. Intensive cultivation of the triple world.